In just a few days, 3 of the world's biggest tech companies dropped updates that could reshape the entire AI landscape. OpenAI introduced ChatGPT Atlas, a browser that can think, act, and remember what you do online. Google followed with Gemini 3, a model that doesn't just chat, it builds, designs, and creates entire applications from a single prompt. And Apple stepped in with its M5 chip, a piece of silicone engineered to make on-device AI faster, smarter, and completely independent of the cloud. Let's start with ChatGPT. On October 21st, 2025, OpenAI walked straight into the web browser arena with its ChatGPT Atlas. It's their new AI-powered browser, a full desktop application built around ChatGPT itself. The idea sounds almost simple. Take a regular browser, fold ChatGPT into it, and let it see, remember, and act on whatever you're doing online. But the consequences of that idea could reshape how we use the internet. OpenAI says Atlas represents the next step in rethinking how people use the web. Instead of typing into a search bar, you talk to your assistant. Instead of hunting through tabs, you ask for what you need, and it happens. You can highlight text on any page and ask it questions. You can have it to summarize news, compare products, or even fill out forms. It's designed so that you never have to copy and paste again. ChatGPT sits right there beside you in the same window, interpreting whatever you're doing online. The feature that really changes everything is Agent Mode. You can ask Atlas to find a bar near you, check its menu, and book a table for 3. You can ask it to read your open tab, summarize a long article, or rewrite a paragraph while you're still reading it. It's a glimpse of what's happening when browsing stops being about you clicking things and starts being about the AI doing it for you. OpenAI isn't the only one racing toward this idea. In reality, it just copied Perplexity's browser Comet that has been released months ago. It does some of the same things, generating summaries, answering questions, help with research, but OpenAI has something Perplexity doesn't. Over 800 million weekly users already living inside ChatGPT. Even if only a fraction switch over, it changes the entire balance of power on the internet. That's exactly what worries Google. For 2 decades, it has owned the gateway to the web through Chrome and search. But now, instead of typing a keyword into Google and clicking links, people might just talk to ChatGPT directly and get full answers without ever leaving the page. Google has tried to keep up by pushing its own AI system, Gemini, into Chrome, letting users summarize pages and even handle small tasks. But the entire business model of search, ads, clicks, traffic depends on people visiting websites. If AI becomes the middleman between humans and information, that entire economy changes overnight. What separates Atlas from every other browser is something OpenAI calls browser memories. You can ask Atlas to recall what job listings you checked last week or the articles you read while researching something. It remembers what you've looked at and what tasks you were working on, then uses that knowledge to make your browsing smarter. But all this power comes at a cost, and that cost is data. Atlas doesn't just remember which websites you visit, it stores insights about what you do on those sites, what you read, what you highlight, what you ask the assistant. It can even piece together facts about your habits, preferences, and ongoing projects. That data is stored on OpenAI's servers, under the promise that it will help personalize your experience. But Elon Musk alerts that over time, it learns your work, your hobbies, your purchases, your habits, all the little things that make up your digital life. It sounds helpful, but it's also the most detailed behavioral record ever created for an ordinary user. And that's where the alarms start ringing. Godfather of AI, Geoffrey Hinton, at the Washington Post described Atlas as out-surveilling even Google Chrome. It doesn't just track which pages you visit, it logs what you do on those pages, the text you highlight, the prompts you write, even what you almost clicked on but didn't. It builds what OpenAI calls facts and insights about your behavior, and those are saved as part of its memory. The company insists that sensitive data, like banking details, government IDs, and medical information, aren't stored. but early testers found exceptions. In one case, the browser retained a memory about someone signing up for reproductive health services, including the name of a doctor. That means the filters aren't airtight. OpenAI's spokesperson said the data is only used to enhance product features, not for anything else. They added that Atlas doesn't use your browsing content for model training unless you explicitly opt in. Google once said similar things about Gmail and YouTube data. The commercial pressure to improve personalization or deliver better experiences eventually turns into targeted ads, predictive recommendations, and algorithmic nudging. This is where the conversation shifts from innovation to trust. Everything from your private messages and online shopping to your medical research could theoretically become part of a digital memory bank. That raises hard questions. Who controls that data? How is it stored? And what happens if someone asks OpenAI to hand it over? Security experts are already pointing out a different, equally serious issue: prompt injection attacks. These are not traditional hacks that exploit code, they exploit the AI itself. Researchers from Brave recently demonstrated how malicious websites could hide instructions inside an image or a snippet of code that, once seen by an AI browser, could trigger actions across tabs. One browser, Fellow AI, was found vulnerable simply by having the model read a web page containing a hidden command. Because browsers store cookies and session tokens, a well-placed prompt injection could theoretically trick the AI into leaking private data or performing unintended actions. These attacks are new, hard to detect, and far beyond what traditional web security tools are built to handle. And behind the scenes, the data flow is massive. Even if OpenAI isn't selling ads today, analysts already see where this is heading. Integrating chat into the browser lays the groundwork for targeted advertising based on intent rather than clicks. If the assistant knows you're planning a vacation or researching a product, that's more valuable than 1,000 banner ads. Once OpenAI decides to monetize, it won't need to guess who you are, it will already know. This is why some privacy advocates describe Atlas as the biggest data farming event in recent memory, because it's not just about cookies or trackers anymore, it's about behavioral data, how long you hover, what catches your attention, what you almost buy but don't. It's data no one used to have, and now one company could see all of it. Now coming to Google, it has officially begun testing Gemini 3.0, and it's already being called the company's biggest leap in AI since the original Gemini launch. Codenamed Orion Mist and Lithium Flow, the new models quietly appeared in LM Studio for early access users, and what they're showing is a major step forward in speed, reasoning, and multi-module design. Unlike Gemini 2.5, which was built manually for text and code generation, Gemini 3.0 has been rebuilt from the ground up as a true multi-module foundation model. It doesn't just read text or process images, it understands video, audio, 3D objects, and live web environments all at once. This means it can watch a product demo, summarize a research paper, and generate the code to recreate that experiment, seamlessly switching between formats without breaking context. Early testers describe the interface as dramatically smoother. Gone is the flat purple layout. In its place is a clean, responsive workplace with real-time rendering for graphics, SVGs, and even interactive 3D scenes. In one demo, Gemini 3.0 built a miniature SimCity-style environment from a single paragraph prompt. It placed buildings, adjusted lighting, and generated scripts for object movement, all in less than a minute. But Gemini 3.0 isn't just visual. Its new context memory system lets it track far longer conversations across sessions. You can close a chat, reopen it days later, and Gemini still remembers your goals, prior outputs, and even partial code drafts. This makes it not just a chat bot, but a persistent collaborator. Performance benchmarks leaked by internal testers suggest Gemini 3.0 is up to 5 times faster in reasoning tasks and roughly 40% more efficient in memory usage. The model also now integrates directly with Google's Vibe coding platform, allowing users to describe an idea and instantly generate a working app, complete with back-end APIs and authentication. Now, while Google pushes boundaries on the software side, Apple is redefining the hardware powering that future. They just released 3 products powered by the new M5 chip. If you've never run AI inference on Apple's silicon, it's already strong. But the M5 makes it even better. It delivers over 4 times the GPU compute performance for AI compared to the M4, featuring a next-generation GPU with neural accelerator in every core, a faster CPU, a stronger neural engine, and higher unified memory bandwidth. People are already comparing it to NVIDIA's DGX systems. But for local inference, Apple's Mac Mini and other M5 devices are actually faster. The DGX still has its place, but Apple's chip is redefining what desktop AI performance can look like. The M5 chip now powers 3 products: the 14-inch MacBook Pro, the iPad Pro, and the Apple Vision Pro. Apple now have the perfect hardware foundation for serious AI innovation. The only thing missing is the software, the intelligence itself. Hopefully, this is the moment AI finally invests in building a next-generation version of Siri and truly embraces artificial intelligence, because until now, they haven't. That's all for today. Drop your thoughts in the comments and make sure you subscribe and like for the next AI update.